Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, today is that 888 portal. If you would like to join me later on today for the fire ceremony, it is a free event. Uh, it's here on whatever platform you're watching me from. If you'd like me to do energy work on you, do a personal reading for you, go check it out. meevolving.com/shop/888-FC. So, you guys, this is for all the signs. Woo, the energy of everything. Things began escalating yesterday, maybe even 2 days ago for quite a few people. And it really has not, sorry. It really has not stopped. It's continuing to climb. It's continuing to intensify. People who are very sensitive to energy, even people who are not, they've been pretty much affected emotionally, right? A lot of emotional triggers, a lot of repeating cycles, like cycles from the past. A lot of people are going through some very serious ascension mechanics, just a lot of intensity, a lot of intensity, right? It's kind of important to note that in the 8-8 portal is said to be the apex of the energetic pathway dilation process. The reality is the energy is going to continue. It's going to start 2 weeks before August 8th, and it's going to continue for 2 weeks after August 8th. So today's not the end all be all. This is going to continue to increase. There's a lot of things that are needing to be corrected, realigned, purged. And I hope that this reading, okay, fine, all of that. I hope that this reading will help whoever needs further clarity. I hope it will help you to better understand what process you're in, right? Whether it has to do with a relationship or it has to do with some internal type of thing, introspection type thing, or if it's just time for you to recognize cycles are coming to an end and it's time to just carry forward, to move forward from whatever space you've been occupying, right? It's almost ready. That's a lot of cards. Oh my gosh, today's been so busy already. That's so much. All right, oopsie. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's almost like I can't control the effing cards. Okay. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm being told that for some of us, this is really a process of recognizing the need to let go of trying to control, right? That's hard for a lot of people. It is. It's okay. If it's hard for you, it's okay. I mean, you're not the only one. But really what needs to happen is a lot of introspection and self-accountability, right? All right. Ooh, it's a lot of energy. What the hell? What the hell? I'm serious. This is a lot. Things are intensifying. It's getting more and more and more. That's okay. We're all going to be fine. Literally, we're all going to be fine. Okay. So there are things that are happening that maybe you don't want to come to terms with. Maybe you don't want to acknowledge, take accountability, whatever it is. You're not imagining the process that you're in. Okay. This is a period where you really need to be able to very objectively look at yourself, your behaviors. It's not about blaming. It's not about, um, you being honest with yourself about you're a horrible person. It's not about that at all, because I don't think you're horrible. I think maybe there's been a lot of distortions in the way you see yourself. Like for some people, they think they're a horrible person. They think that um, the culmination of all the bad things they've experienced in life is evidence of the fact, erroneous fact. It's not even a fact, it's a lie. But this belief that, they deserve poor treatment, they deserve poor circumstance, um, like a fear of missing out, a lacking mindset, like all of these different negative things, they feel like they deserve it. Some people might even go so far as to believe that they're cursed. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I think you're just going through a cycle of recognition of all of the different lessons, difficult lessons that you've been through. And as you go through these cycles and your awareness of the struggles, the difficulties you've surmounted comes forward, comes rushing back to you. It's very common to begin feeling, assuming that, this is your karma for being a bad person. One thing I learned, the bad people don't think they're bad. I mean, tell me where I lied in that statement. Bad people don't think they're bad. They think it's everyone else's fault. They blame everyone else for all of the nonsensical caca that, they themselves create, right? Yeah. I know a couple people, or I used to know a couple people who just really would they would blame everyone else for everything. And then they would come to me. Wrong choice, please. They come to me to try and get me to co-sign on their, bullshit. And I'm just like, no, it's you. It's you. No, it's not everyone. It's you. It's you. All right. It's you. You're creating these issues for yourself. It's you. Right. They don't want to hear that. So if you're here and you're like, I think it's me. I think I'm a bad person. I think this is all. I promise you. I don't think you're bad at all. I think you've been through things, right? I think you've been through things. I think you've been around people who have gone out of their way to convince you some really ugly things about yourself, right? And I think some of these really ugly things, you've taken it in as, your personal truth. And so it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe something about yourself so deeply, it's almost like you go out of your way to validate that. For some of us, that's what we do. And that's why you keep going through these same cycles, right? I'm bad to the bone. Behave. Behave, boo boo cakes. Behave. You're not bad. You're one of the sweetest people I've ever come across. Okay. I'm sure you could be bad if you want to be, but you're not bad, right? And just because you behave badly when you choose to, because you want to lash out, you wanted this, you wanted that, and this is just a general statement at this point, that just still doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you someone who's lashing out, someone who doesn't have healthy coping mechanisms, right? That still doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't. It goes right back to the whole self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So it's time for you to remember this greatness that you've come from. And what do I mean by that? I mean, do you understand how great you have to be to have overcome everything that you've overcome and still be in a space of being open to learning more about yourself by questioning, by allowing yourself to wonder, is it me? Am I a bad person? Is it something I'm doing? You know, it's only detrimental to your growth in your process when these questions become incessant, right? Insatiable, where you won't allow life reaffirming the goodness that you are to happen, where you keep existing in a space of disbelief that, I'm being confirmed, I'm being validated that I am actually a good person, right? You keep asking for sign after sign after sign after sign. And it's, sometimes life will be like, listen here, ho. Listen here, ho. You're a good person, right? And that's probably why I crossed your path, because your soul is probably sick of you not listening when it tries to tell you that you're a good person. One of the things, if you're not familiar with me and who I am, how I am, I'm blunt as fuck. I just don't, I'm not a mean person, but I can say things in a way where it will cut you deep so that we can cut the mask off, because the mask is starting to meld with your face, with your true identity. We're gonna need to cut that off. We're gonna need to cut that out, and we're gonna need to stop the bullshit, right? You gotta stop bullshitting yourself. I'll be blunt as fuck. If you're the issue, I will let you know you're being an issue, right? So if I'm here telling you that maybe your soul is sick and tired of trying to coddle a lot of the different um a lot of the different wounds that are actually more than ready to heal, you're going to have to kind of find the courage within yourself to exit out of the cycles that have become so comfortable despite how painful they are, right? Yeah, no, sometimes when we shove ourselves in places where we don't fit and our muscles start to cramp and we start to feel this pain and we don't allow ourselves to get up, sometimes if we stay in that cramped, unnatural, inorganic position for long enough, it becomes even more painful when you remove yourself from that position than it is to just simply remain there cramped. I don't know if y'all have ever, dropped it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it, you know what I'm saying? If you got knee problems and you drop it like it's hot, boo, that sometimes that hurts to get back up. Sometimes it hurts to get back up. You still got to get back up. You can't stay down there, right? You were just supposed to drop it like it's hot, not stay squatted and allow yourself to burn. Just okay, you got to get back up. So, this is about your higher aspects coming forward and trying to be in union with your lower human aspects. This is about you entering into a space of recognition of how much you've been through and how much the potential for growth is inside you. The potential, it lives in you, but as long as you refuse to tap into it, to allow it to come forward, to allow it to even be recognized, integrated, it's not going to really do much of anything for you. It's just going to stay there. So this is a point where your potential is being invited to come out and hold hands with your reality, bringing that potential forward, right? There's a lot of like really disruptive energies right now. It's nutty. It's nutty. I don't know if y'all can feel that. It is a nutty type of, it's like a nutter butter. It's like a nutter buttery type of like what in hell. Ooh. Mm, 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 mm. I don't know what that is. Oh, let me be honest. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. All I need to know is it's not mine. It's not my energy. It's not my feelings. Um, and I need to just trust that if it's something I need to help with, I will be called to help. I will be made to feel extremely uncomfortable until I do help, right? So, masculine in reverse. What's being purged right now is the upside down nature of our combative self. Ooh, the war inside you is being called to end. Do you realize the gravity of that? A lot of the times the blockages that exist, preventing you from manifesting the type of life and experiences that you want, that you know are worthy of you. Um, those blockages stem from the internal war. It's almost like when two nations are in um, in a theater of war, and they're creating embargoes, and they are blocking off um, highways and freeways to prevent supplies from getting through. It's needing to stop. What if your struggles with receiving has to do more with this, where there is one part of you trying to dominate the other part of you, and it, as part of that war tactic, they are preventing the other part of you, who is very depleted at this point, from receiving the acknowledgement, the support, the empowerment, the love, the companionship. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. Wow. Have you ever considered that? I don't think I've ever considered that. I've never viewed it from that perspective until this moment, because it's part of my history to struggle to allow myself to receive. And I am aware there's an internal war within me. It's coming to a close. It is. There's a few a few insurgents left within me, fighting my process, fighting my process to recognize my worth. Um, mm, I think that's accurate. For me personally, I think it's accurate that there are aspects of me at war with other aspects of me, and those other aspects are being choked out, and that's why I struggle to receive. That's a very interesting concept. I'm going to have to dig deeper into that myself, like privately by myself, and really see where that stems from. Some things we can do together as a group. Other things, the most important things, oftentimes need the stillness and the quiet of solitude, where there's no one else's perceptions to create distortions within the reflection, because you're needing to look at yourself very closely. Look at your reflection in the eyes. That's already an awkward thing to do. It makes it even more awkward when other people are viewing you. It makes it very, very hard, right? So I think that's definitely something for us to consider as we go through this process of clearing out the old, allowing ourselves to recognize the ways in which we can improve our perception of ourselves and our relationship with ourselves, right? So your passion is being ignited. For many of us, this passion is going to help you to create a lot of this goodness, a lot of this opportunity, forward movement, progression, all sorts of different things. For others of us, um, it's still going to allow you to create, but if you're not going to be willing to see the gravity of what it is your soul is asking you to look at about yourself, um, what ends up happening is you begin to continue to move forward towards an even more dense, dark, depressing type of space. I One of the things that I'm currently struggling to work on, and I think many of you will probably be able to relate to this, is that learning when to step back from other people's circumstance. Yeah, that's hard. If there are those who are if there are those people in your life who still mean so much to you, and they are in a space of solidifying a decision to move even further into that dense, dark space. Um, I mean, should you really follow them there? Is it really love um, to shackle them by the ankle so they can't continue forward in the direction they choose? And I think, oh, this is a time for letting go. Um, wow. This is a time for letting go. Ooh, that's hard. That's very, very hard. Um, mm, wow. 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 This is intense. This is intense. Um, definitely a mega reading. I think for some of us, we need to recognize we're no longer a home for certain people, or that certain people are no longer home for us. That someone, something, somewhere that once existed as a sanctuary for our heart and soul, um, the hallowed grounds have been defiled. The sanctity of the space has been lost, and the need to carry forward with the totality of you has come. This is like, ooh, wow, deep. Walking away from the things, the spaces, and the people who you at one point assumed would always be there. Ooh. Mm. I find myself sitting here like I don't want to cry about it. I don't even know what I would be crying about, but I don't want to cry about it. I feel it so deeply. And it's this thing of, you would only cry about it if it was a need to mourn that loss. But what if you can see it as a transmutation, transfiguration, some type of alchemical process? So there is no death, there's just a transition, a changing from one space of being to another, one state of existence into another. What if they're not changing? What if you are? And what if what you're going through is nothing more than an acknowledgement of the ways in which you've grown, the ways in which you have allowed yourself to further blossom, right? Grounding. You have to ground yourself in this process. And it's fascinating that this would be the image. Um, people think that if you eat nothing but vegetables. That's a peaceful existence. And I'm not trying to be overly critical of anyone's dietary preferences, anyone's lifestyle preferences, but farming is a very violent process. In order to prepare the soil, in order to harvest, um, a lot of violence and destruction occurs. There are things living within those spaces that get destroyed. And then there are other things that benefit from that destruction and they feed from the process. I feel like all of us, as we're trying to ground ourselves, we're going through this very process of seeing the parts of us that we thought would persevere for the rest of our lives, seeing those aspects of us be the very things that are destroyed. Just destruction is the doorway to the next part. That perceived destruction is the doorway to the next part. The undoing, unbecoming, the deconstruction of the structures, mental and emotional structures you've built without the proper foundation to support it long term. If you were to build a house without the proper foundation, the proper footings, how secure is that home? How long can that structure exist without risk of collapse? And I think part of what's happened is on some level you've recognized the foundation was not properly laid. Some structures, you could lay a foundation after the fact, right? You could figure it out. You could be an architect of light and life and figure it out and lay that foundation in a way that would support the structure longer term, right? But most structures, you're going to have to demolish that. And I think that's the process that we're in right now for many of us. Um, that deconstruction of the structures you've built is being done. Now, it's not just destruction. If you don't know the process you're in, yeah, it's going to look like it's destruction. But if you recognize this is merely a process of correction, correcting the things that really can't withstand anymore, it then goes from destruction to deconstruction, where you are intentionally taking things apart, placing it properly somewhere else for now, knowing that this is not to destroy you. This is to support something you're building that's going to be lifelong, right? Now, we spoke about the grounding. It is not a coincidence that the next card is prosperity. You go through this, which, we have properly and accurately identified as something very destructive, into this. This is the harvest. If you allow this, as it is initiated by your soul, this is the next part, the prosperity. It's like we want to get to this part, but we don't want to do this. That doesn't make sense. If you really let yourself think about it, it doesn't make sense. If you allow yourself to remove your emotional investment into it, it just doesn't make sense. It becomes a thing of course you need to do that to get that, of course, right? Of course. So, huh. Mhm. Michael brings my attention to another type of analogy for the same circumstance. You have a back injury, your hips hurt, any type of, muscle imbalance causing pain. It's going to cause pain for as long as that imbalance exists. Now, here's the thing, to correct that imbalance, you're still going to go through pain. You're still going to go through discomfort. But that pain that you experience as you're trying your hardest to correct the imbalance that's causing the injury to persist, that's an investment in a future potential that will lead to a pain-free existence, a pain-free life, right? So I had to go to the gym earlier today because the energy is shit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to mince words. There's stuff going on for other people that I care about that has left me feeling very like discombobulated because I can't I can't be as present and do what I would prefer to do to assist. I can't. I'm not able to. And so it's left me feeling some kind of way. And so I decided to go to the gym today. And I've been having a little bit of a achy hip area again because I haven't been properly caring for myself again. And so when I went to the gym, I made it a point to work on my pelvic girdle. And one of the most powerful ways that you can stabilize your pelvic girdle is by working on your posterior chain, your entire back, your hips, your hamstrings, your calves, like the whole thing. The whole thing. So that was my focus today. And one of the most powerful things I can do is build as much glutes as I can, not for aesthetics, but so it can hold my pelvic girdle properly. So what did I do? One of the most difficult fucking things I could do. How much was I at? I was hip thrusting over 400 pounds. Yo, that's like 4 times my weight. Over 400 pounds. That shit hurt. It hurt. And every time it hurt, I had to tell myself, get it, girl. Get it, girl. One more. Push. One more. One more. Keep going. Push it. Push it. Okay, don't push it too far. You're about to hurt yourself. Right? Oh, and that wasn't enough. I maxed out on that weight. Okay. Take off a couple plates. Take off a couple plates and keep going. Keep going until you hit failure, because what does failure mean? It doesn't mean you failed. And this is one of the most powerful analogies you could ever have for your difficulties you face in life. This is a very powerful analogy. I understand anatomy and physiology. You want to achieve hypertrophy? You take that shit all the way to failure. What does that mean? Not until it burns, not until you want to cry and give up. You take that shit all the fucking way until you cannot move. You feel all that burn? That's your muscles tearing. Those are micro tears that are occurring in your muscle. So what does that mean? You've just injured yourself? No, you've broken down the muscle. You know why that's powerful? Because if you give yourself the appropriate nutrition within a specific time frame of breaking down that muscle, you will have hypertrophy. You will have gains like ain't no motherfucker thought you could do. Whenever you fail, you've maxed out the potential for your learning and your growth in any given circumstance. You have maxed it out. good fucking job. You need to feel pride for the ways in which you have pushed yourself to the ultimate edge of achievement. You didn't fail. You took it all the way. You know how many times I've failed at things? Never. Is it because I'm perfect? I think I'm perfect. Is it because I'm full of myself? No, it's because I recognize the process that I'm in. I absolutely recognize the process that I'm in. I recognize it. Well, what is it? The breakdown to build up. But in order to properly do that, you have to allow yourself to receive the necessary things that will help you to build. Continuing with the analogy of building my ass. um, as soon as I finish working out, I have to have the proper building blocks. I see people staring at me at the gym these days. I couldn't figure out why. I was like, do I look weird when I work out? Am I being too loud? Is it my breathing? People hear me counting? Is it because I'm quietly singing to myself and maybe I'm not so quiet? What the fuck's going on? It's weirding me out. It's weirding me out. All the regulars are staring at me. What the fuck's going on? The people who disregarded me and never looked at me a second time are now like, what is going on? And then it dawned on me. They didn't think I could have this kind of growth in the time frame that I've been able to grow myself. Because the average person doesn't realize what you're actually capable of. They don't realize that. Why? Well, because we've become so conditioned to believe in the limitations that other people believe is factual. Factual? Maybe for people who don't believe in themselves, but definitely not for me. What's factual is what I can prove to myself. What's factual for you is what you choose to prove to yourself. You got to be very careful in this period, the way you speak to yourself and the ways in which you convince yourself of other people's erroneous beliefs of you. I'm just saying. Oh, you can't do it? Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, oh, because you can't do it, I can't do it? Stop. You're so silly. No, I can if I want. I don't think you can, Emmy. Oh, that's good. You're thinking. But no, I can if I want. The question is, do I want it? How bad do I want it? How bad do I want it? How bad do you want it? If there's something you want in life and it's the thing that you've wanted the most, you've never wanted anything else more than this, what's stopping you? What is stopping you? Nothing outside of you. Nothing outside of you. Nothing. Let's see. Meditate and contemplate. I think you've meditated and contemplated enough. I'm serious. There's a proper amount of time. And of course, it's not for me to decide what's proper and improper for you. But I've come to understand there's a proper amount of time to meditate and contemplate any given circumstance. And once you pass that threshold, you're no longer meditating and contemplating. You're no longer in a state of preparation for the next part. You've simply begun to enable the crippling fear that you have, right? So today, I knew I was exhausted because I did legs yesterday as well. And I didn't even want to work out today. But I woke up early and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to the gym. Right. And so I was sitting there with a bar across my hips, loaded with over 400 something pounds. And I'm just like this. My elbows locked. Breathe, girl. Come on, get up. I wouldn't move. Like, okay, all right, let's hype ourselves up. Hype ourselves. We'll do it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Lift. Nope, didn't lift. Okay, we just need a second. We just need a second. Okay, let's relax our elbows. We just. All right, we're going to do it now. We're going to do it now. Adjusting myself. Nope, did not lift. That's the same thing as a consistent meditate and contemplate, meditate and contemplate. You can only do that for so long before you need to be honest with yourself about the way you're enabling your crippling fear. So why was I doing that this morning? Well, I've identified another imbalance in my knees, in the muscles that support my knees. Has to do with my tibialis, has to do with my vastus medialis oblique, the teardrop muscle on your inner quads. Yeah. Those two bitches are at war. And I was scared. I was scared. I started that exercise afraid. Yeah. I started it afraid. And so I loaded into my bioelectric potential a fear of injury. That's why I wouldn't lift it, because I've injured my knees before. I've torn ligaments. That shit's not fun. That shit's not fun. And I had to find this happy space within myself where I could trust in my capacity to do the movement without injury. I gave myself a good 2 minutes sitting there, pissed off at myself for wasting time. I gave myself 2 minutes. That's a long fucking time. For you guys, that might not be long. For me, I do superset after superset, and I only wait 20 seconds between supersets. My longest break is walking from one machine to another. 20 seconds is what I give myself. I gave myself 2 minutes. Like, okay, girl, process this shit. If you gotta cry, fucking cry, but hurry it up. Hurry it up. What are you afraid of? You're gonna tear your knee? Okay, we'll take some weights off. That's what I told myself. Take 2 plates off. But you're not gonna just fucking sit here. Take 2 plates off. And as I was gonna get up to take 2 plates off, I was like, no, fuck that shit. We didn't even try. And I got mad at myself because I didn't even try yet. So I tried. I was expecting to max out at 6 reps. I took that shit to 12 because, bitch, you're doing it. You're doing it. Not because you're being forced, but because now you got to prove to yourself your fear is not more powerful than your actuality. Your fear is not more powerful than your courage. No injury. No injury. Not even discomfort. The only thing that was uncomfortable was my ass crack because the squeeze. Yeah. So I did it. And then I did another set. And then I recognized, okay, if I force myself to do another set, I actually will get injured. Let me drop down some weights, take 2 plates off. It's very simple. And no, that was not ego lifting. That was a reality fucking check. I've lifted that weight before. Shit, I've lifted more than that before. I know my body. I know my muscle memory. I think I maxed out at like 550 pounds at one point. Yeah. 400 something. I can fucking do that. It's your mental that stops you from doing the things you are capable of doing. Oh, but I'm older now. Yeah, my body don't give a fuck. Are you kidding me? All that means is I just need a little more time to recover and recuperate after the workout. That don't mean shit when you're in the process of doing what you're doing. Okay, today I took it very easy, right? I focused. I didn't do the whole body. Let me see what the hell I did today. I didn't do the whole body. Okay. I took it easy. Remember that, okay? I took it easy. I lifted 81,290 pounds. I did 22 exercises in less than 2 hours. And each one, I did at least 15 reps, about 4 sets. Do the math. Was I rushing myself? No, that's my pace. Should I be able to do this in my mid 40s? I don't give a shit what people say. I'm going to do what feels healthy for me. You need to start doing what feels healthy for you, from relationships to friendships to work circumstance to living circumstance to the environment that you exist in. You need to start doing what's healthy for you. There is a post. Let me find it. If you don't like the darkness, you shouldn't be staying in places with no light. That's a banger. Okay. You got to stop hanging out in the places that further perpetuate this dark perception of yourself. Look at the bigger picture, it's in reverse. Sometimes you're too zoomed in to the struggle you're having that it makes it damn near impossible to find feasible solutions that can be implemented, right? It's time to take action. Yep. Remember, your time for meditation and contemplation is coming to a close. Now it's time for you to begin implementing the things you've meditated about, the things that you've contemplated. Unless you weren't actually meditating and contemplating, you were just sitting there. If you were, just be honest and start meditating and contemplating so you can find the solutions you need. It's very simple. You need to hold your vision. There's going to be a lot of things that will try and sway your attention. It will try and bring your attention to things you don't need to pay attention to. Things that maybe trigger old parts of you to come forward, the parts of you that allow for the distractions to become the main focus, effectively abandoning yourself and your needs. That's what happens, right? Don't let pride get in your way. Don't allow yourself to get so caught up in this lack of pride over yourself, this lack of pride about what you're trying to accomplish. See, for most people, they think like, oh, you're too prideful. Um, uh, can I be honest? I'm going to be honest because that's the only way to be. So, in our community, what I see most often, and of course, this is a general statement, so you're going to have to discern if it applies to you. But what I see most often is the issues we have with pride have nothing to do with being prideful. It actually has everything to do with not having the appropriate level of pride for yourself, your accomplishments, your capacity, your value. This is a lack of acknowledgement of your worth. I think for most of our community, that's where our struggle really is. A time to give rather than to take. Yeah. There's another picture that I had saved. So my cousin forwarded this. And I was like, my other cousin's like, you should post that. And then they were like, no, I can't. I'll post it. Read this. Okay. Read it. I'm also going to read it for you. Focus on you. You have done enough for the ungrateful. If you think you're going to be able to do more for someone who's ungrateful for your presence in their life, and that if you do more, they'll suddenly have gratitude for you, honey, it's already been established in your dynamic that they will not have gratitude for you. They are entitled to all of the ways in which you go above and beyond. And that's not going to change now. It's going to take tremendous effort and a willingness on everyone's part to change that dynamic. You can't change that by yourself. There's no amount of what you can do to suddenly make them grateful for you, to suddenly make them recognize your worth, your contribution, all of that. I mean, the most powerful thing you can do is to probably cut your losses with that, to focus on you, healing the part of you that felt like you had to do that to prepay for your space in their life. And one of the most powerful things that can come of this is you not allowing yourself or others to reestablish a similar or same dynamic that you've just walked away from. Right? That's one of the most powerful things you can do. So, are you going to do that? Are you going to do it? Because that will liberate you from um all the feelings of perpetual pain, perpetual suffering, that this is all there is in life. One of the ways you can liberate yourself is by actually liberating yourself and not returning back to those same dynamics with other people. A lot of the reason why we think everyone is like this, everyone will let me down, is because you keep reestablishing the same dynamic. It's not about fault, it's about recognition of what needs to be adjusted so that true change can be established and sustained. Right, blissful. Key phrase is a willingness on everyone's part. It can't just be you. If people are not willing to meet you at the point of center, it's always going to be an imbalanced connection. It's always going to be wonky. It's always going to drain you excessively as you try and rebalance it. All they have to do is meet you at center. Yeah. That's all you have to do. But if they're not willing to, if they're, well, what is this? Wait, hold up. Hold on. What the hell was just bought? Because, okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry. I freaked out for a second because I was like, no, I didn't want that. I just put it in the cart to like look at it later. I'm sorry, I freaked out. Okay. Balance spirituality and practicality. I think this is a very key indication that there's no balance between the spirituality and the practicality of things. If you exist in a space of center, you won't need to balance anything. By virtue of your centeredness, you'll naturally have balance as a byproduct, no effort. No effort. Now, if you're going to continue to try and balance, you think that's the goal, that's the objective, you're going to continue to try and balance for the rest of your life. You're going to consistently be depleted and consistently have to overexert yourself for a minimal circumstance. All right? So, ooh, emotions are running high. You ain't got to tell me twice. Emotions are running high. I think for many of us, our emotions are on the verge of out of control. So, what should we do? Let yourself feel, give yourself time. in a private space to just feel things. I don't have the scissors. Before you start accusing me, I do have scissors, but I don't have the scissors you're looking for. Okay. I think if we allow ourselves to have some private time to, you know what? The way you're looking around the office tells me you think I have the scissors. You need to kiss me as an apology. Hold on, guys. Give me a kiss. Hello. I will not accept accusatory. What you doing with my speaker? Your speaker. I came up on it first. Anyways. Sorry. I had to be petty with my husband for a moment. All right. So let yourself feel it and then release it. That's all you can do. The more you ignore the feelings, the more it's going to build up and fester. If you like that type of tension, it's up to you. I'm just saying, if you need that type of tension for your creative process, go ahead, be tense. Be as tense as you want to be. Be so tense your ass clenches. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm always tense. What? It's true. I'm always tense. My ass is always clenched. I can't release it. My husband makes fun of me all the time. That's what you married. You saw that. You saw that before you put a ring on it. You still put a ring on it. That's on you, bruh. That's your problem, blood. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'll stop. Anyways, you think you have no choices, but you actually do. You have lots of choices. It is. It's always clenched. It's clenched right now. It's starting to cramp. I got to. It's starting to hurt. It is. It's starting to hurt. It's letting go. All right. You think you have no choices. You think you have no options. I think you know in your heart that you do. I think it's just that your preferred options are probably not feasible. It's okay to feel disappointed, it's okay. That's a normal reaction. I mean, if you have an expectation that's not met, the normal reaction is a feeling of disappointment. Um it just, it is what it is. Let yourself process, let yourself feel disappointed, and then carry forward. Obviously, it's a lot easier for me to say that than to actually do it for the first few times. But if you do it enough, if you allow yourself um, to go through this process quite regularly, it becomes something that's not a big deal. It's just part of life, right? All right. Okay. Michael goes, "Why did you look over there?" What? I know. I have issues with avoidance. Let's look. I got a new, look at that. You see the rainbow in it? It's a huge rainbow. I got a new I got a new stop telling me no. I got a new I don't know what this is. Dangalangi. I want to introduce you to Dangalangi. Um okay, so I don't even remember which one it is. I'm going to ask an obvious question. Is my shirt black? Yes. Is my shirt white? No. Okay. So back and forth is no, circles are yes. All right. Should Michael go away? What was it? Circle is yes? Oh, shit. Is my shirt black? Yes. Is my shirt white? No. Okay. So back and forth is a no. Should Michael go away? I just gotta put it down. He's asking me if I'm challenging him. I mean, just in a cute way, a little bit. He says today is not the day to joke around. Fuck you then. Anyways, I just didn't want to pull this card. Mirrored souls. Okay. So there's some mirroring going on. I don't know what the mirroring is, but there is some mirroring going on. Ooh. It's feeling intense. Someone's going through something. I don't find it amusing. Nervous laughter. No, someone's going through something. Someone is going through something, and I think what's happening is this is someone who is taking in a projection of an emotion you've suppressed, a struggle that you've been able to compartmentalize. It's affecting someone else who is a mirror of your soul, and they're feeling it. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. This is a refusal for it's your refusal to address your shadow aspects. Yeah, and that's what's being mirrored. Yeah, this I don't know. I think soul is sick of our shit. I I think soul has had enough and is like push the lesson through because transformation is coming. An analogy for this would be like the equivalent of when you are in labor. For those who have never gone into labor or those who have gone into labor and been heavily medicated, you might not have felt the sensations in the process I'm about to talk about. So, if you are in like natural labor, unmedicated labor, right? All forms of labor and delivery are valid first and foremost. I'm not trying to invalidate anyone. So, if you go through unmedicated labor, what ends up happening is you feel the most intense pain and like burning in your life. And the only way to alleviate that, this is when the baby's literally ready to come out. The only way to alleviate that is to push. Because baby boo, I tell you, when you push, all of that pain and burning, just you don't feel that no more. You don't feel that. You're just like, ooh. I remember for one of my children, because my labors and deliveries were completely unmedicated. For one of my children, the nurses were like, okay, mommy, breathe. I'm like, fuck you. I just kept pushing. I kept pushing until I reached the edge of passing out. I wouldn't recommend that, but that's what I did to alleviate the pain because my kids have big heads. And so what ended up happening was I burst every single blood vessel from my scalp to my hips. And one of the nurses, after I finished I burst blood vessels in my eyes too. Uh, one of the nurses, after I finished giving birth, she's like, "Oh, you have the prettiest purple freckles all over your body." It's like, what? Yeah. I had literally purple freckles all over my body, down my arms, my chest, my belly, everything. 'Cause I burst every blood vessel. Um, it's like the equivalent of when I would feel the need to push, instead of pushing, I would interlace my legs together, hook my feet together, and try and hold the baby in. I mean, that's just impossible. That's a surefire way to cause yourself tremendous unnecessary pain. So when you're going through this process, you're actually allowing for an aspect of yourself to come out of your spiritual womb, to be born into your current identity. That's what the whole rebirth is. You don't become a different person. You're supposed to become more of who you are. It's the shedding away of these false identities that have been imposed upon us by the people in our environment. Rebirth is about bringing more of you forward. As you go through that, you're probably not going to feel very much gratitude because it's going to feel painful. It's going to feel um highly destructive, right? Earlier in the live stream, we're talking about the difference between destruction and deconstruction. If you don't know what's going on, again, you will find a deconstruction to be highly destructive. You will identify it, label it as utter destruction of your life as you know it. And it's not. Not to diminish the pain, the visceral experiences. Like, you feel it viscerally. You'll feel hollowed out. You'll feel sick. You'll feel emptied. It's a very real thing. Like, you're not being dramatic. There's some fucked up circumstance. I'm telling you, I've been through cycles of ascension where I didn't think I would survive that. Mm-hmm. And not even being dramatic, like, if you leave me alone, I don't know if I'll be here when you get back. Nervous laughter. Yeah. You feel it viscerally. You feel yourself ending viscerally. Viscerally. It's not you being dramatic. It's you going through the full range of motion and emotion that is life. That is life right there. Right? It's not your goal to seek out pain. It's your goal to hold on to the truth, the fact that you will survive this moment of pain. You will survive it. You will. You will get through it. You've gotten through everything else in life. You have. What haven't you gotten through? You thought you didn't get through it because it hurt? You're still here. You're still here. You got through it. You think you didn't get through it because you felt what was normal and natural, the pain of the process. You got through it. Give yourself the credit you have rightfully earned. Oh, because someone said you did it wrong? Fuck those people. They always have so much to say when things are going bad. And if they have nothing to say to congratulate you when things are going good, literally, fuck off. Like, who gives a shit what they say? They are shitty people. The people who only have something to say when things are bad, but are mute during times of celebration, are absent during the celebration. I feel myself getting worked up. It's going to be okay. What's important is you've identified who they are, because I promise you, if you have people like that in your life, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Their face just popped up in your head. You saw them clearly, like, I know exactly who she's talking about. That's right. That's the one you got to cut off. That's the one. That's the one you got to cut off. That's a toxic motherfucker. That's the one that gets you all fucked up in your thoughts and your feelings. That's the one. That's the one. Don't feel bad either. And if you need to put it on me and be like, Emmy told me to cut them off, I sure damn did. I say it again, cut them off. I sure damn did told you to cut them off. Why are you cutting me off? Well, because Emmy told me to cut you off. She said you're an asshole. I sure damn did. I sure damn did. If they got a problem with it, they can watch this live stream and leave a like. Leave a like before you go. Okay? Once you cut them off, celebrate. You've just released dead weight. As you release that dead weight, you're now creating space for true cosmic connections to be established, to be sustained, to be further supported. Okay. Now, these cosmic connections will bring you people who can serve as a celestial teacher for you. They'll help you to learn how to love yourself by simply holding space for you, by simply acknowledging that you are a good person, having no expectations from you, being able to tell you, like, no, you don't have to do all that. I love you just as you are. You don't have to do all of that. It's like, no, you don't have to. But I appreciate that you do. Thank you. You don't have to, but thank you. Right? I have some people like that in my life where if I offer something, they're going to be totally like, oh, no, I mean, that's too much. No, but I offered. It's, you're not taking advantage of me. I've outgrown that space in my life where I allow and invite people to take advantage of me when I offer because I want to give it to you. Like, I got this for you. Right? So the emotions are upside down because I think for many of us, we're realizing that we're entering into a space where we can no longer continue those toxic cycles that we've been participating in, those cycles of distorted sense of self-worth. That's okay. Process the emotions. You'll get through it. You get through everything. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You get through everything, right? This is no different. Okay, you have to allow yourself to feel. You gotta let yourself feel. What do you feel? It's upside down. So it's telling me you're not allowing yourself to feel. It's telling me that you are compartmentalizing, that maybe you are intellectualizing something that's more of an emotional process. For many of us, the reason we don't properly heal, the reason we don't heal to the degree that we think we've healed is because healing is a two component process. The first component is healing the intellectual concepts, healing on an intellectual level, being able to explain to yourself intellectually, being able to understand what you just went through. Many of us can do that. And when we do that, we begin to feel a little bit better. We don't cry as much. We don't feel as destroyed. We think we've healed. No, because there's a second component that most of us don't realize needs to be addressed. That's the emotional component. So as you intellectually heal, now that you have an elevation of understanding, you need to begin allowing yourself to feel, to process the feelings that arise as a reaction, as a result of what was done, what you experienced, right? If you don't know what you feel, you don't know what you're healing. And if you don't know what you're healing, how do you know that you're healing? You don't. You don't. Okay. That's why cycles continue. Card number 44, Visions of Life Beyond Death in reverse. I think what this card is trying to tell us is it's important to acknowledge the reality of the feeling that it feels like you're dying inside as you're going through this process. It feels like you're dying inside. But here's the thing, you come from a legacy of light. You are so much more than what you give yourself credit for. You are so much more than what you currently identify as, right? If you allow yourself to identify properly, you'll begin to see how capable you are. Now, for some of us, many of us, it's feeling kind of impossible. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Just because it feels impossible doesn't mean it is impossible. Feeling it and being it oftentimes are two different things, right? So give yourself the grace and the compassion to feel like it's impossible while you continue plugging away, while you continue with a task at hand, so you can show yourself how very possible it is when you allow yourself to apply yourself, right? She feels, she knows. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying is absolute truth. You know that it applies to you. There is someone, maybe several someones, who this is resonating so hardcore for you, and you are struggling to believe that it applies to you, that your heart is pounding. Your emotions are increasing. It's okay. It's not evidence of weakness. It's called resonance. What you're experiencing right now is a deeply felt resonance because the message is for you. It's normal. It just doesn't seem normal because you haven't allowed yourself to acknowledge. It's very rare that you allow yourself to actually feel. That's the only reason it doesn't feel normal. That's the only reason. I know, it's just such a simple, yeah, but it's true. That's the only reason, right? That's the only reason. You have to trust yourself. Trust yourself like you've never trusted yourself before. Because, I mean, honestly, for most of us, we've actually never trusted ourselves. We've never allowed ourselves to trust ourselves. It's just a recognition of what needs to be adjusted, right? Card number 41, bring it into form. Bring this healing and this change into form. Walk towards your magic. All of us are magical. You're a magical motherfucker. You are. I'm serious. You are a magical motherfucker. You're magical. I mean, do you understand how much had to come together? How much agreed to come together in order to bring you to fruition? It's more than just your parents. It's more than just your grandparents. It's so much that it's hard to wrap my brain around it. Like, damn, really? Like, I had to get all of those people to agree to do all of this just so I could exist? Damn. It's mind-boggling. I don't like to think about it because then I get stuck in a hole. I get stuck. It's like, fuck. How many people would that be? It's like, what? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Hmm. Card number 40, Sacred Fool in reverse. You're not being asked to play a fool anymore. I think for some of us, we volunteered a large portion of our life to be in service to other people's growth and lessons. And that volunteer period is now done. It's done. It's done. Now it's time for you to focus on you. It's time. Card number 36, listening for truth. I think this means that some of you don't want to hear that it's done. You are struggling to believe that it's done. It's still done. Whether you struggle with it or not, I mean, it's still done. It doesn't make it any less done just because you're struggling with accepting that it's done, right? I used to struggle in accepting, believing the gravity of my husband's love for me, right? And what ended up happening was I struggled unnecessarily for so many years because I chose it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know I could choose something else. Apparently, you can. Apparently, you can choose to just accept when things are done, right? For me, I had to go through a very long process of reaching a point of accepting that my husband literally loves me unconditionally. There is absolutely nothing that I could do to cause him to stop feeling that way towards me. And it's not to say that his love for me is guaranteed for the rest of my life. It's to say that the way he's loved me this entire time has been real. It's not me imagining it, and it's not him faking it, right? Like, I don't need to wait for the other shoe to drop. That for as long as we are to learn and love together, we will. And if at some point our paths diverge, that's not going to be stopped either. But that's not going to negate the fact that we have loved each other so deeply for so long. It's not going to negate that. Okay. So, card number 24, new birth, guarded vigilantly. As you're growing, you're going to enter into spaces of vulnerability. You're going to be uncertain. You're going to be very almost destabilized, because when you enter into a new space of dimensional consciousness and awareness of that consciousness, it's a very foreign space. You haven't existed there before in this life. So you're not going to know up from down. You're not going to know right from wrong, light from dark. You're not going to know what direction. You need to give yourself time to acclimate. And as you acclimate, you need to be very, very protective of your energy, very, very protective of your heart. You cannot just give yourself to anyone who wants to access you. This is why, for many of us, as we go through the process of ascension, we become very much cocooned by soul. We're isolated. We think like, oh, we're being isolated. Okay, if you want to see it that way, but that carries with it a negative connotation. You're being cocooned. Oh, no, I'm being isolated. Okay, you can see it that way if you want. I'm not going to correct you. But isn't it more conducive for your process of accepting that you are so divinely loved by soul and provided for and protected, if you see it as being cocooned instead? Because the way you choose to position yourself to see is going to greatly affect your perception of what you're seeing. So if you perceive a loving process to be one of abandonment, rejection, being forsaken, I mean, that's going to suck. You're going to feel very sad. You're going to feel very hurt. So during the periods where soul protects me, I don't see it as me being abandoned. I don't see it as me being isolated. I see it as a silent solitude within my cocoon, a space of peace where I can reflect, ruminate, where soul is providing me a sacred and soft space. While on the outside, it's a cold, hard shell. On the inside, it's a beautifully woven bed made just for me and my body. I mean, when I began to look at it like that, I'm like, soul loves me, bitch. I love you too. Right? And then Mikey's standing outside the cocoon. I'm like, motherfucker, I love you too. Hey, it's Mikey. It's Mikey. Yeah, it's no longer an issue. It's no longer an issue. Card number 39, free from judgment, free to love. There you go. Soul is letting you know, free yourself. Free your mind and the rest will follow. You got to free yourself. Free yourself from what? The programs other people have instilled in you. Free yourself from an obligatory existence where you feel obligated to play by the rules set by someone else, rules that were stacked to ensure your struggle and eventual failure. But what did we say about failure? What did we say about failure? You never actually fail. You are redirected. You are diverted. You are given an opportunity to maximize the potentiality. Right? Someone just said, This girl is full of shit. I heard you. Someone just said, this girl is so full of shit, she spins everything. Well, I was going to agree, but I can't seem to spin you out of the fact that you're a pessimistic asshole. So I can't spin everything. But I can definitely choose to see things from more neutral slash positive place of perception because I've existed for so many years of my life, like a large portion of my life. I've existed in a space of seeing everything from a negative space. And to be honest, when I was living like that, it sort of made me an asshole like you. Yeah. Um, what helped me was when I removed the stick from my ass and I stopped taking myself so seriously and I stopped having an expectation of everyone else having the same fucked off perception that I had about everything. That really helped. Yeah. Maybe you can get a surgical procedure to remove the stick from your ass. I don't know. I don't know. What type of insurance do you have? PPO? I'm just saying. Yeah. No, I don't have to think like you. I don't have to be a pessimistic, just ridiculously dense type of perception like how you have. You know? Let me look. Mm. Mm. So Michael was saying how, like, yeah, and you've been through more shit than that person. Eh, yeah, that's neither here nor there, though. That's neither here nor there. I think the main thing is not about who's gone through more difficulties, more trials and tribulations. I think the main takeaway here should be and is the fact that with everything that I've been through, I didn't allow what I went through to change me at my core. At my core, I'm a good person, I'm loving. And it didn't change me because I wouldn't allow it to. I think that's the main takeaway here. So people can go through a lot of things. People can go through minimal amount of things. If you choose to allow what you experience to change you at your core and turn you into an empty shell of who you once were, that's a choice. That's a choice. And that's that. So you can choose to be whoever you want to be. It's not about I've suffered more than you. Eh, because when you're dealing with empathic people with neurodivergence, um, small things can be highly impactful, more impactful to a neurodivergent than to a neurotypical individual. For example, difficult childhood, challenging childhood. I wouldn't say it's the worst. Plenty of people who've had worse childhoods than my own. Like, it's kind of like, what's the point of comparing? We all have a story to tell. We've all lived through something difficult. There's not a single person who hasn't lived through something difficult. So carrying forward with where my thoughts took me, um, yeah, no, my parents never spanked me, but I did have to watch my siblings get fucking beat. Yeah, beat. Mm. I'd say that fucked me up more than if I would have got beat myself right along with them because I'm highly neurodivergent, you know? That fucked me up more. So it's like, "Oh, Emmy, you don't understand because you were never beat." Actually, I was, just not by my parents. Yeah, no. No, I took it in much deeper watching someone else suffer. Because if you were to do it to me, I could compartmentalize that, dissociate. It's no biggie, but you better fucking sleep with both eyes open. Because if I get my opportunity, I'm gonna fuck your ass up. Right. Um, but to have to witness someone else suffering and knowing I can't do anything to stop it, like, mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm, mm. That's fascinating. I guess I've healed enough for now for that particular topic. Good job. Mm. Or maybe not. Wherever you're at in your healing, it's valid. It's valid. Because then the empath in me immediately jumps to the thought, yeah, we didn't have it as bad as some other people did. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't as bad as some others have had. And then I feel their pain. And maybe that's just something that will never heal. Maybe it's not meant to. Maybe it's not even a wound. Maybe it serves as evidence of your capacity. Because the more gifted you are, the more sensitive you are to the pain of others. So maybe that's just how we have to see things. That when we hurt for others, it's not because we have a bleeding heart. It's because our heart functions in the way it's meant to. Because really, what is a heartbeat? The perpetual process of your heart perpetually bleeding. Bleeding into the spaces where it's needed. And in that process, that movement is what sustains life. So maybe it's not even a wound. Maybe it's just the natural order of things. And maybe in your acknowledgement of how you naturally exist, you can then liberate yourself to exist in a more authentic manner. There's nothing weak or destabilized about feeling emotions in an appropriate manner. Some would see me and what I feel right now as me being emotional and out of control. And I see that logic as you not fully living, not fully understanding. How do you exist in a world like this? With the knowing and the confidence that my existence is pure rebellion to the matrix as it exists right now. And that one day I will win the rebellion that I fight every single day by simply existing. That's how I exist. I exist with a knowledge that people will not want me to be who I am. They will not want others to witness how I am. I don't give a fuck. Click off, then fuck off. Because no more. This is who I am. And when I find myself overflowing with emotions for people I don't even know, I accept that that's how I am. That with great power comes increased sensitivities. And that sensitivity is for a reason. It's the regulator for the power that you now have access to. I have tremendous ability. Yes. Okay. Who cares? How do you know? Like, I'm scared to hurt people. Yeah, you should be. But there's no buts. It's that fear of hurting someone that regulates you and prevents you from misusing your ability. That's how it works. You're not broken. Sensitivity is not a bad thing. It's not evidence of your weakness or instability. It's a direct symptom of how gifted you are. The world would have you believe it's mental instability, emotional instability, psychological dysfunction, behavioral problems. No, it's not. Stop trying to convince me that I'm sick. I've tried for so long to convince myself that I'm sick, and I'm not. I'm not. Are you sick? Do you have pathology, psychological pathology existing within your psyche? Or did someone just convince you? I'm saying, right? There's no actual chemical test to prove you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. There's no test. They base it off symptoms. But here's the thing, the symptoms you present before you're diagnosed with psychological pathology, disease, that's in response to a circumstance you lack the coping skills to properly navigate. And the problem there is, once that circumstance is done, your struggles should cease unless you've identified as the label you received at the height of that struggle. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'll share something very private. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. So I want to say I was like maybe I was like 19 or 20 or something like that. It's very young, right? I didn't know what empathy was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what being an empath was. And the person that I was living with at the time, my roommate, was in the early stages of being diagnosed as bipolar. Okay, well, shit. I experienced some crazy ass period during that time I lived there. Like, I was having a full on mental breakdown. I didn't know that I'm and I didn't know that I am an empath, right? So what did I do? Well, because I wanted to be a doctor, I went ahead and I took my ass to the doctor. Guess what happened? I got diagnosed as bipolar. Wait, wasn't your roommate in the process of being diagnosed as bipolar? Yeah. And then apparently I was bipolar too. Took all the meds, really believed it, identified as that for quite some time. And then I got pregnant and I went off all the medications because there's no way in hell I'm going to be taking medications while I'm pregnant. Psychiatrists told me they're completely safe. I'm like, well, do you have double blind independent studies to show me the safety of the medications for a child in utero? And they're like, oh, that's unethical. How are you going to tell me it's safe though? These are new medications. I went off medications for quite a few years. And then I experienced another hardship in life years later that I did not have the coping skills and emotional maturity to cope through as I tried to navigate that. So what did I do? Well, shit. I'm going to go back to the doctor because I need to be responsible. I need to make sure I get the medications back in my system. And thank God I got paired up with an amazing therapist because you had to see a therapist before you could get the psychiatrist. Thank God for that. You know what that therapist told me? That I'm not antisocial because I identified as antisocial. I'm just socially selective. That I know how to socialize because clearly I'm socializing in an appropriate manner with her in that office. So I know how to socialize. I just choose not to, which makes me socially selective, which that's indicative of higher levels of intelligence. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. And she's like, so tell me why you need these medications. And I'm telling her all the things that are going on, all the hardship that I'm facing and the inability to cope. And she's like, well, yeah, when did you last have your medications filled? When did you last take it? Several years back. I don't think you're bipolar. No, I am. I don't think you're bipolar. I was like, what the fuck? How do you mean I'm not bipolar? What are you talking about? An entire panel of psychologists and psychiatrists diagnosed me as bipolar. You know what she said? That I might have exhibited symptoms of bipolar disorder because I'm highly intelligent and I probably looked it up in the DSM, which I did. Which I did. At which point I knew exactly what behaviors and which struggles to point out to get the diagnosis that I got, is what she was hypothesizing. I was like, you don't understand. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that doesn't go away. There's no cure. Oh, well, she's like, well, I understand. Let's go ahead and reassess you really quick. And if, the results line up with your self-diagnosis, I'll go ahead and I will refer you to the psychiatrist. I'm not fucking bipolar. And one of the most powerful things she said to me, bipolar people don't seek medication. They don't actively seek help and self-diagnose. They fight it when they're out of control and they're manic, when they're depressed. They don't want to take medication. When they need it the most, that's when they won't take it. Crazy people don't think they're crazy. And I was like, but I am. She goes, yeah, you're not crazy. I identified as broken for years because I let someone else convince me that my lack of coping ability and my lack of awareness of my highly empathic abilities made me believe I was broken. I'm not broken. I'm a whole person. I got attitude problems sometimes. Yeah, but that's on you because you got to bring that out of me. It's not because I have an attitude problem. It's because you have an attitude problem and I'm putting your ass back in your place. I'm pleasant to pretty much everyone. You got to really, really push me. like really push me to get me into a salty ass attitude, especially in real life. You got to really push me. So am I an issue? Maybe in other people's eyes, but I don't care because those are the people who want to control me but can't. So really, what's the problem? There is none. It's simply life unfolding. That's it. It's life unfolding. So how do you exist in the world like this? You just do. And it's painful until you stop participating in the programs that cause you pain. Much of the programs that exist right now, they're working their way out. And if you continue to participate in them, you're going to have tremendous pain until you no longer participate or until enough of us abolish the whole fucking system. The system's not broken, it's designed to function this way. It was designed to function this way. As a matter of fact, a lot of our lack of ability to cope stems from overexcitabilities. Look at the work of Dr. Dabrowski. Dr. Dabrowski, the theory of positive personality disintegration. It's a scientific explanation of the ascension process and why not many of us ascend. You got to be neurodivergent on a whole nother ass level to get to your proper place. You know why? Because everywhere you turn, the people who exist as part of the design, the organic portals, there's 70% of the world is an organic portal. These are people who lack the capacity to ascend. They outnumber the people who do have the capacity to ascend, and they will shame you, utterly shame you back into a lower level of awareness of self, a lower level of desire to experience self-actualization. It's up to you, though. It's up to you if you want to believe that. I'm over here like, fuck that. Fuck yeah, I don't give a fuck about your degree. You don't know me. You want to tell me who I am based off of 15 minutes? Bitch, watch my live stream. You can't categorize me because I refuse to. I refuse to. I refuse to allow myself to be categorized. Well, then that leaves me with one option, which is what? Just being who I am and not giving a fuck what people try and label me as. I know what I am. Maybe not the full gravity of it, but enough to know I'm fucking formidable and you're not going to put me back in a box. Unless you want to see me fight. At which point, it's only fair that I let you know. I will only engage when I know for a fact that I can win. You know what that means? That now you're my entertainment. You just volunteered. Odin has gifted me a willing volunteer, a willing sacrifice. Yeah, no. It's time for you to disengage with the time wasters, the drainers, all of these people who are nothing but organic portals. And it's not about me being an elitist or, all of these. No, no. Things are just what they are. Organic portals have a proper place in the world as we know it right now because they often are the triggers, the impetus for that catalytic change. They change you through their malignant deeds, their malicious intentions. They change you and they baptize you through fire, burning away all the bullshit that you once participated in. I'm just saying. They serve their purpose. But once you're identified as an organic portal, you will be cut off. I will not allow you in my life again. I only need to learn that lesson once and maybe a refresher course many years later. Not every couple weeks. I don't fucking think so. Okay. Card number 10, assistance with access. It's necessary to ask for and accept help in order to receive it. Ooh, yes. Just yes. Ask for help, allow yourself to receive the help. This is nothing but a process. It might not feel like it, but it's nothing but a process. Card number 6, trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You're always free to withdraw it. Amen. Self explanatory. One of the most powerful things you can do when dealing with a trickster is to withdraw your trust. Withdraw your confidence in them. Withdraw, withdraw, withdraw. And they will try and get you to engage. They will accuse you of being immature. Yeah, okay, if you're toxic to me, I'm going to block you. Why the fuck would I keep you around? And then the toxic people will be like, oh my God, Emmy is so immature. She just blocks people. Okay. Under the guise of what? They need to communicate like adults. Okay, but you don't hear anything I have to say. Your version of communication is dictating to me what to believe, at which point, fuck you, block you. You know, I was telling my cousin the other day, one of my most favorite things to do to toxic people is to block them in the middle of them typing. It's like a hearty, very soul soothing fuck you to you and your 3 jumping dots. Because it's just something so satisfactory. You see the dots jumping. It's like, I'm full of my shit. It's jumping. And I'm like, block. And then the dots, they fall to the ground, never to move again. Yeah. Fuck you and your 3 jumping dots. Blocked. Now, hold on. Hold on. If there is reciprocal listening, I'm absolutely willing to hear what you have to say. I mean, you know, the fact that we don't have the same mindset tells me, the same perception, that tells me you could teach me something really profound right now because you see life differently than me. I'm not about like cut you off. I don't want, I'm right. No, bitch. I mean, you know, if there is an exchange, a respectful exchange, like you tell me your thoughts and then you listen to my thoughts. I wait for you to finish speaking. You wait for me to finish speaking. We ask each other questions to further, you know, to further extrapolate profound. Fuck, I love that shit. I love that. I don't need people to agree with me. I don't. I've said that before. I genuinely mean it. I don't need people to agree with me. But fuck that if you think I'm just sit around so that you could keep telling me I'm wrong and you're right. Fuck you and your 3 dots. Who cares? The unknown. Knowing the unknown. I think at this point, I think for many of us, we know that whatever is in the unknown, it's much better than what we've been shoveling in the known. Okay. Card number 35, presence of absence. Hold what is absent in the presence of your love. So, this is very specific. For those of us that are needing to walk away from something we thought would last long term, here's the thing. You can't just turn emotions off unless you're like me and you have Capricorn in your Venus. Okay. Right. My emotions exist as a switchboard that my Capricorn uses its horns to turn off and on. I'm serious. Yeah, no, I could totally be like, oh my God, I love you so much. And then you do some fucked off stuff. Who are you? I'm sorry, I don't know you. Kindly go away. And not ever think of you again. Pairing the Capricorn Venus with my prominent ADHD, fuck yeah, it's like a solution for life. It's amazing. It just, you know, well, I hope you know. Look at this. Sag Venus is no better. LOL. D, you know damn well you can't turn off your love for your adopted mother. You know damn well there is no off on switch for that. There are certain people you just can't turn stuff off for. I just, you know, hashtag twin, right? We're supposed to be twins. So, right. There you go. I just needed a little reassurance. I just needed a little reassurance. Okay. I'm over it now. Card number 28, moving forward. The first step is taken within our stillness. Mhm. All of this internal chaos. It's going to be hard for you to take that first step with all of that internal chaos. Oh, going back to this card, you can't just shut off the feelings because Village Baby totally distracted. I'm not gonna blame you. I distracted myself, and then you added to it. The presence of absence. What this card is telling me is that you can't just turn off your emotions for the most part. When you feel deeply for someone and then it ends, okay, you're still gonna feel deeply for a little bit until it kind of works its way out. Be prepared for that. It's okay for you to continue to feel intensely. You can't just be like, I don't care. Stop lying. You do. It's okay. You can still care and love for someone completely in silence from a distance in perpetuity. It's true. I've done it many times. Card number 34, circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Ooh. You got to be careful about the circle you keep, because if the circle you keep is the fucking harp of your life, harp. If they are the dew, if they're the directed energy weapon, the harp, the weather modification shit, I'm saying that's a bad circle to keep. That's a bad circle to keep. Don't hang around toxic ass people. This is a good time for you to, be done with that. Final card, because I have hella shit to do before our 888 fire ceremony. I'm going to be live again in a couple hours. If you would like me to do a personal reading for you, like strictly for you, if you'd like me to do a scan, to do all kind of different energy work, if you'd like to be part of the fire ceremony, which this is going to be a very elevated fire ceremony, go check it out. If you'd like me to do work on you or read for you, go to mevolving.com/shop/888-FC, and you can pick stuff there, right? Pick whatever calls to you. You don't, need to understand what the service is. Your soul can guide you. Okay. All right. So card number 2, passion for purpose. Okay. Love, like life, flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. Say nothing. Um, yeah. Could you explain what a scan is for people who don't know what that is? So, I have various types of abilities, and one of my most highly developed abilities is to fractionate my consciousness, bilocate a portion of it, like send a part of my consciousness to you to be able to see all of your luminous bodies, emotional bodies, mental body, etheric body, and your physiological body. So I can see what type of energetic circumstance is happening. I can see if you have energetic parasites, demonic latchings. I can also, as part of my scanning ability, I'm medical intuitive. And so with that, I have a tendency to be able to see, Michael goes tendency. I can see when you have physiological conditions that other like doctors often can't figure out. So I don't take the place of medical diagnostics or medical treatment intervention, but I can definitely help guide you into what to insist your doctor checks. So part of, someone asked me before, like how I scan with like when it's for medical stuff. So my ability is kind of like the conglomeration of an MRI, a CT scan, an X-ray, a ultrasound, and just me inserting myself into your body. I know it sounds weird, right? But I promise I don't do anything weird in there. I just look. I don't even enter. It's just me being able to see. And then I'm like, okay, so this is what's going on. Like one time someone they purchased a scan for their adult daughter. And I was weirded out because I was like, did you just get a new puppy? And they're like, yeah, how did you know? And I was like, ooh, boo, you got parasites. And they're like, like demonic parasites. And I was like, no, like tapeworms. Your puppy has worms and it's now in your body. I'm sorry, it's so gross. And then they were like, "Oh my god, the puppy does have worms." I'm like, "You ivermectin. Ivermectin, ivermectin, ivermectin." Yeah, and I don't know what happened. Think I think they got rid of it. I don't know. I don't even remember who it was. Can you see people's energies who are around us, with us in the house? Yes, I often can. Um, yeah, I can. Um, if they're malignant, they have a tendency to try and leave before I start scanning, but their signature is there. You can pick it up. I have enough elevations in my sensitivity to energy frequency signatures that I can detect when something is left and I can trace it back to the being. I feel like I've said too much. Let's go back to the card. Card number 2, passion for purpose. Michael says to tell you guys, I'm actually not a tarot card reader. I'm not. What I do, I've coined the term ClairTarot. So I use my clair senses because all of them are active. I use my clair senses to receive messages because I have wicked ass ADHD, and it's just you need to keep me focused. So that's what the cards do. They keep me focused. Like this, you're bathing in this awareness of the unfoldment that's taking place. You're receiving the messages. You're in a space of serenity, but because of the way you perceive what true serenity is, which is being immersed in your cosmic space, which cosmic, its origins are in cosmos, which is archaic form of chaos, right? So true stillness has a chaotic component to it, but we don't know that because we've allowed ourselves to be given the definition that peace and stillness means lack of movement. No, it's a flow. It's no longer fighting. It's no longer a disharmonic movement through the process. So yeah, I do these live streams to connect with my community. That's it. But my actual job, I teach energy work. I run a certification program and also a membership where I teach people how to harness energy the way I do. No one taught me this. I don't do Reiki. I have my own system, which is aura spectra bioregenesis. You're not going to find anywhere else because it's my system. And I teach people how to harness this. And the difference between my system and Reiki is that Reiki uses harmonic universe 1 frequencies, which is dimension 1, 2, and 3. That superficial level, it's never going to actually change the condition, the state you're in. My system, the base level that I teach, is 12th dimensional frequency because that's where your original template, free of distortions, free of molecular compaction, that's where it's stored. That's the base level. So that's what I teach my students, how to access 12th dimensional frequencies in order to either do self-work or to work on clients. We live in a 15 dimensional time space matrix. So you're in the upper echelon. You need to be able to do that in order to access core template codes and affect the change. So all disease, it's the root beyond the human body. The root of it is distortions in etheric code expression. So you have your etheric DNA, which then gets communicated to your body by way of your chakras, which connect to your fascia, which then send instruction to your physiological body. If you have energetic disruptions that are allowed to sit for a prolonged period, that will then begin to affect the cellular structure, the cellular code, cellular expression. Cancer. The reason cancer is allowed to exist is because of a disruption in the apoptosis code. That is the natural cell death program. So it doesn't die, it continues to proliferate and it gets metastasized and all of that stuff. If you know how to access that and turn it off and how to clear the energy, it doesn't exist. And if you think I'm full of shit, I had a tumor the size of my fucking thumb on my cervix. It's gone. And this was verified by my doctors. It's gone. And there's no dysplasia on my cervix or anything like that. It's like it never existed. And if you think I'm full of shit, my brother had end stage heart failure. He was waiting for a heart transplant. Not no more. Yeah. Restored the left ventricle, no longer enlarged heart, no longer AFib, ejection fraction rate popped back up from 7% all the way back up. Like, these things are possible. Now, based on human perception and allopathic medicine, you would think that these are messianic type, miracle type things. It's not a miracle. If you don't understand the gravity of morphogenetic recodement, yeah, it's going to look like it's a miracle. It's not. It's not. You store trauma in your body, and that affects a cellular expression. When you are hateful to yourself and you hate yourself to the degree that you talk so badly to yourself every single day, that recodes your cells. Wherever you store that self-hatred is going to affect the cells. So people who are in the proximity of narcissistic individuals who consistently berate them, and it's a heart-based type of ABUSE, right? They have a tendency to develop congestive heart failure. There's a high likelihood of developing congestive heart failure because it's stored there. Your heart's broken over and over and over because the person you love the most is the person who keeps tearing you down. Not good. That will affect your physiological heart. A lot of these different conditions, let me stop. I could talk about this shit for hours. It's just, I have Asperger's. So you get me started on a topic that I like, I will go on and on for hours. It's, it's kind of embarrassing, but kind of cute. I tell myself it's cute because it's fucking embarrassing. I can't help myself. I just go on and on and on. Let me get back to the card. Now that I'm blushing, let me get back to the card. So, do you yearn to find your way, to fulfill your divine destiny, to know the purpose for your presence within this sacred body of the Earth Mother? Your heart is questing for deeper meaning. It desires certainty as to your sacred task for this lifetime. Your heart wants to know why you were born, for what purpose. You must know that the answer to these questions is love. I bring you your answer straight from the heart of the universe. Be wild within your passion. Do that which stirs your soul, even when it makes you uncomfortable. Especially then, for what is being truly alive, if not a decision to be open instead of resistant, to be wild rather than comfortable, so that at any moment we will be ready for the invitation of the divine beloved to come closer. I call to you now, the you that is beyond your mind, the you that the heart knows, the you that cannot deny life. To that you, I ask this question. What stirs the passions of your nature? Do that. Be that. As we grow on the spiritual path, so too does our ability to serve life, to serve love, to honor humanity, to offer a contribution that's unique to us, that could only flow in this particular way through the quality of our own soul light. Every light holds its own beauty, and every light has a particular task to fulfill on the divine path of life. To help us remember this, lest we get too easily distracted by the pain and stress that happens in life, we were given an inbuilt reminder. That reminder is our passion. And don't think that just because The things you're passionate about are not understood by most people, that it's a waste of time and useless. Let me tell you, I have this combative streak inside me for certain types of things. It's true. I have this like really intense passion to be combative with certain types of things, like demonic shit. I don't like demonic shit. I'm very averse to it. And so that passion translates into becoming one of the most prominent pioneers of the parasitic extraction field. What's that mean? I'm an exorcist. That's what that means. I do exorcisms for people who have demonic issues. Yep. But I don't do it based in the logic and perception of religion. That's a very finite, very limiting, disempowering position. No, instead, I address it from the point of energetic badassery, full on quantum chaotic science, aura spectra, bioregenesis level of understanding. Like, no, no. How do you know if your family is breached or just assholes? Okay. You really want to know the answer? Do you guys want to know the answer to this? I'm going to have a live stream specifically about parasites. Let me know if you want to know the answer for this. I will tell you. And it's a very easy answer. It does not require any type of purchase. It no service, no nothing. It's a very easy answer. You guys want to know? Have them watch one of my videos. Demonic shit hates me. They cannot stand the sound of my voice. They just, they can't stand me. That's all right, bitch. I can't stand you either. Yeah. Yes. Not even joking. I wish I was. I wish I was. I'm not. Totally serious. Have them watch one of my videos. Don't tell them anything. Just be like, hey, you should watch this girl. And then put the video on. And if within a few minutes, like the faster they become reactive to me, even when I'm not being obnoxious, the faster they become reactive to me, the more pronounced that demonic issue is. I wish I was joking. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. They don't like me. I don't care. I don't like them either. So we're in agreement. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's like, oh, dude, it's like 3 minutes tops. Yeah, no, it's within a few minutes. They're like, who the fuck is this girl? Like, she's annoying. Yeah, well, you're demonic. Me and all my personalities, we don't fucking care. Okay? Pisces, we don't care. Okay, so let's see. We may think that passion is not particularly practical. We may feel fearful that with passion, there are no guarantees of success, or that we may even be throwing away a stable and secure life to pursue our passion. These are the fears of many a modern society, yet they are so misplaced. Life supports all beings based on their true nature. The birds are given air in which to fly, and fish are given water in which to swim. Plants are given light of the open plains or darkness of the damp forest, depending on their needs for growth. Different flowers flourish in different environments. Bees have wings that are very small but powerful, enough to move with such speed and rotation that their heavy bodies can fly. Each aspect of creation is given what is required so it may become what it is meant to be. This hardship, this heartbreak, the pain that you are dealing with right now is what is required for you to develop into what you are meant to be. It's all divinely planned. And yes, you do still have divine free will that allows you to choose the severity of the experience. You get to choose that. not what you will learn, but the way in which you will learn it. So it is with humanity. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We are simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we genuinely feel passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to our genuine nature. Where we get into difficulty is not in bringing our genuine passions to life, for life supports this, but in learning to let go of attachment as to how that happens, right? You get to choose the intensity, but not what you will experience. We can struggle to free ourselves of the expectation we have to be something we are not. The divine path of love asks us to become conscious of and then unlearn the play acting of attempting to be a false self so that we may learn to simply love and accept our real self. We may even have a struggle on our hands to remember who our real self actually is for a time. Fortunately, there is pleasure in the journey of returning to passion that can make the process of self discovery a sweet one. But we must be brave, even in the sweetness of that journey back to the real self. We must dare to believe that we are not broken, that we are not inadequate or better off to be like some other person or some other person's view of how they think we should be. We must be brave enough not to believe in the layers of guilt and shame. We must be bold enough not to fear our passion. As we dive deep within and explore what really makes us tick, what makes us feel alive, we must be open, curious, and non judgmental. That may be a subtle journey at first. We may feel as though we are looking in the dark, wondering if we will ever catch a glimpse of the light of passionate meaning we hope to find. That passionate purpose may at first be barely recognizable amongst all the should, cannot, or must do of our lives. As we stay true to the path, however, that light will become unmistakably clear. Our passion will reveal itself to us as essential as our breath. We would feel as though we were not alive without it. How could we have missed it all those years, perhaps all those lifetimes? It will seem so obvious then, burning so clear in our hearts, that it cannot be more obvious that we simply must live this desire, this passion, this purpose, or else spiritually perish into a shriveled up shell of a person, denying of life itself. No, that shall not be. Passion must and shall prevail. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You're being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are dissembling or do not seem to be working out as you had planned, these are symptoms of this passionate revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready for the journey within now. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for external validation while you learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough, in fact, you shall receive your innermost beauty and be witnessed and received, acknowledged for your innate value, purpose, and divinity. But for now, sweet beloved, dive deep, be defiant, and determined to honor your heart so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually, naturally, make its way into sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or purpose, or have been dreaming some big dreams, this oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation. You are excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. It's not enough. It's not enough for us to exist, even if you have a partner, even if you own a house and have a stable job and stable it's not enough. That's merely surviving life. Now is the time to actually truly live. Live wholeheartedly. ever so present, even if you're by yourself, even if things are not stable. I would say those are the most passionate times, because now, in that space of not knowing, you're freeing yourself to consider all avenues rather than one or two. When things tend to go bad for me, which it's not that often, and those rare moments where I feel like things are going bad for me and I'm frustrated and I'm unsure and, all of these insecurities are coming up, those are the most powerful moments to remind yourself life is opening all avenues for me right now. That's why I feel so unsure. And that thing that I had my heart set on, that thing that I was banking on, that thing that I was like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make it work no matter what. And then it didn't work. And so now I feel like a failure. Um, I would say that's a good time to remind yourself that your life is protecting you from unnecessary pain, unnecessary struggle, unnecessary servitude towards someone else's or for someone else's emotional damage. It's not your job to be someone's whipping boy or whipping girl. It's not your job to raise other people. It's your job, your obligation to be the parent for your inner child that you never had and wish you did. Do the things for yourself that you go out of your way to love someone else in hopes that they will do it for you. Do it for yourself instead. That way it's guaranteed to happen. One of the most difficult lessons Michael shoved into my face a few years back, it was this harsh reality check of how I would do so much for others because secretly, deep down inside, I was hoping they would see my actions as a guide of how to love me, expecting your heart to come out of other people, expecting other people to express their love in the way you express your love to them. That is a recipe for tremendous and unnecessary pain. It just is. So I won't say that I learned. I'm still actively in the process of learning. I will say I'm actively in the process of learning to do for me and love myself in the way that I seek other people to love me, right? Because when you love yourself, when you treat yourself with a certain standard of care and consideration, that automatically broadcasts into your environment like, no, no, this girl doesn't settle. So the predatory people, you're too much for them. You're too much. You don't listen to their demands. You're a pain in the ass. Like, you don't get it. Yeah? Good. You shouldn't get a logic that's so far beneath your own. Oh, I mean every single consonant and vowel of that entire sentence. It is not for me to go out of my way to understand the logic of hurtful people when I am capable of loving and healing others. Why would I ever make it my goal to share the same mindset of someone who needs to grow and heal so much more than I do? No. I think the most powerful thing you can do is have those standards and let them know, hey, when you get to the same point that I'm at in my self-love, self-healing journey, there's a space here for you, and we can talk about what you've been through. I can share what I've been through, and we can just share what we've learned during that period of absence. Um, it's not me abandoning you and walking away from you. It's me understanding you have your own journey right now, and it's not in the same space my journey is taking place. And hopefully one day our journeys will bring us back together and we can talk and share. But also, it's okay if it doesn't, because I trust you will draw to you the people you need. And it's just right now, you and I are not what we need. It's okay. It'll be okay. It'll hurt for a little bit, or maybe a lot, for a long while. But that pain is teaching us something. It's teaching us where we feel empty and how much love we need to fill ourselves with. This is a powerful period. Use it. Use it to grow your awareness, to grow your love for yourself. Use it in the way it was designed to be used, to ignite your passion, reignite your sacred flame, and to burn away the bullshit that you don't need. Because, I mean, why keep it if you don't need it? Right? Right. Have standards, be rebellious, and then come back in a couple hours. Join me here. I think it's in about 3 hours. I'll be live again. Um, Thank you guys so much. Hold on. Let me get it back on the screen. If you'd like me to do a personal reading for you, check it out. meevolving.com/shop 888-FC. I'll be going live to do expedites later today. What expedites are me doing a ton of energy work, readings, scans, and all of that for an expedite fee, which is nowhere near a private session fee. It's a good way to sample some of my services if you've been curious, or even better, if you're working with a very limited budget, which I think a lot of us are at this point, right? We can all relate, trust me. It's a good way to get the energetic support, energetic work that you've been wanting and needing at a very affordable price. Very, very affordable. So go check it out. meevolving.com/shop/888-FC. I will see you guys in less than 3 hours. I'm going to get myself dolled up. No, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to eat, and we're going to see what happens. There's a portion in the fire ceremony right at the very beginning that's completely free. And I do some energy work for everyone, abundance stuff, protection stuff. There's really beautiful stuff that's completely for free if you just absolutely have no budget for anything else. But for the more advanced things, the more personalized things, it's definitely available too. I'll see you guys there. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification. Oh my God. Who is that? I just feel someone hurting so much. Stop. Stop. Breathe. I feel you crying. Breathe. Seriously. You know, you should drink a cold glass of water and put an ice pack. Vagus nerve therapy. Whichever side dyslexia kicked in. Put them on both sides. It will regulate your vagus nerve. If you're having a anxiety attack, panic attack, it will greatly help that. Okay? Whatever you're going through, you'll get through it. Stop. If you make me cry with you, I'm going to be sleeping all night. I won't be able to do the fire ceremony. Come back for the fire ceremony. Be there at the very start, and you can get some energy work. And then maybe we can push some of those emotions out. I mean, you should feel those emotions, but this the degree of like, what the fuck, bro? It's like, it physically hurts. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let's do this. I can't leave you like that. What the fuck? I can't leave you like that. Hashtag ouch. If you would like to feel some relief from physical, whatever you're going through, hashtag ouch. This is going to be calibrated for those who comment hashtag ouch. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Hashtag ouch. Just breathe. Okay. Let's do a little something. Shit, man. You come over, I'm gonna cook for you. We'll sit on the couch. I'll wrap you in a blanket. The fuck? That hurts. Oh my god. All right. Breathe deep and slow. For those of you sensitive to energy, you might feel my hand holding your face. My hand over your heart. You might begin to feel as though a warm blanket has been wrapped around you. It's okay to feel, and it's okay to cry, but never allow yourself or your pain to convince you you're alone, because you never actually are. Allow yourself to feel the release of all the tension in your body. Feel your breath returning back to you. Feel your tears beginning to dry. The awareness of the hurt is still there, but the hurt is not so overwhelming. Just breathe. Inhale the light of your truth. Exhale the darkness of your doubt. For those of you sensitive to energy, you might begin to feel the sensation of a vibration and a rumbling, pulsating frequencies as I'm raising the energy of this space that we share. You cannot leave feeling this alone. Feel that energy wrapping around you. Feel how loved and protected you are. Feel my hand on your chest, right above your heart. Feel the warmth and the heartbeat in my hand. Whenever you feel alone, allow yourself to feel that again, to remind you you are not alone. See? You're letting the tension go. You're allowing it to dissolve. Take one more deep breath in. Slow exhale out. How do you guys feel? We're never actually truly alone. We just aren't. It's your auric shield that gives you the perception of an individuated existence. It just gives you a perception. Could you feel me? Could you feel my hand? Could you feel the flow of energy, the pulsing, the vibration? And if you couldn't, that's okay. That's okay. But if you could, if you did, well, that's your evidence that you aren't alone, that you never actually truly ever experience things completely alone, completely disconnected. It's a lot that many of us are going through. There's a lot of cycles that are being concluded during this period. That means a lot of things we thought would be there forever, it's going away. Not because you deserve to be alone, not because you're being punished, not because it's hard to love you and you're an issue and you're damaged and whatever else you're telling yourself. No, it's not because of that. It's because you're being prepared for that which belongs to you. Space is being cleared to allow that which belongs to you and only you to enter into your life. If it's a job, well, something even better is on the horizon. If it's a relationship, well, Your period of learning with them is done. And now a more profound opportunity to learn with a different person is being prepared. Maybe they haven't crossed your path yet. Or maybe they are waiting until you heal the parts of you that would cause you to reestablish an unhealthy dynamic in what is destined to be the healthiest connection you've ever had in your life. Everything's going to be fine. It always is. As my husband consistently accuses me of saying, it's not that serious. Nothing in life ever is. Nothing is ever so serious that you would willingly choose to lose sight of who you are and the gravity of your existence. There will be things that will try to cause you to forget, try to cause you to choose to believe something different. But nothing's ever really that serious. At least you shouldn't let it be. Good things are coming. Prepare yourself to receive them. Okay? I'll see you guys in now 2 hours. If you would like to purchase an expedited request for the event, it's still right there on the screen, mevolving.com/shop/888-FC. If you liked that little bit of energy work, you might like a full-on expedite, right? A full-on expedite where I'm focused just on you. Imagine if I can do that for a group, what I can do for you when I'm focused just on you. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me in less than 2 hours. Actually, I don't know. I think it's 2 hours. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. Just come back. Okay? Come back and look for the fire ceremony. And then you'll know cuz it tells you what time it starts. Don't ask me about time. I don't know about time or days, okay? That's the one thing. I know about a lot of things, but not about that. I love you guys. I'll see you. Bye.